take my advice. You won't get in the water with them at all. We have people who do. We have fishermen. They'll wade out. They'll stand waist deep out in the water, casting out, catching fish, picking them, put them on stringers on their belts, and alligators swimming around them. And gators don't even bother them. They tell me if the gator gets too curious about the fish on the man's stringer and gets too close, the fisherman will take his fishing rod, he'll put the butt of the rod on the head of the gator and push it, and the alligator swims away. That's what they tell me. I haven't had this experience personally, and I don't expect I will voluntarily, but that's what they tell me. About 25. Now you see the big one lying up there on the bank? See the tail of that gator from the back leg to the end of the tail? How many feet long would you say the tail is? 3, 4, 5? Well, you double the tail from the back leg to the end, and then you get a good idea how big the gator is. So if it's 6 feet, it's a 12-foot alligator. 3, it's a 6-foot alligator. 7, it's a 14-footer, but I don't think it would be because I haven't seen a 14-footer in here. Look at these coming out swimming to see if any of the children are dangling their feet over the sides. We have a lot of fish in this lake. We've got sunnies and crappies and bluegill, and largemouth black bass, snook, tilapia, lots of tilapia in here. Anybody like tilapia?
No.
Now, if you like tilapia, you can come and take all the tilapia you'd like out of this lake. There's no limit to the size or the number you can take out of here. And we'll be glad to see them go. Because they're invasive fish, tilapia. They're exotics. They don't belong here. They're not native to these waters, and they have found it such a great place to reproduce. There's so many tilapia in here, they're upsetting the balance of the food supply for the native fish. So if you like tilapia, come and get it. There's a guy who was taking tilapia out of here by the 5-gallon buckets. And the rangers got concerned that he couldn't pay his daily admission fee, so they chipped in and bought him a season pass. I saw one day he had over 100 fish on the string. And they're not little tilapia. These are 12, 14-inch fish. Very nice fillets. And they're a lot cleaner here than the ones you buy in the supermarket. Those supermarket fish are tilapia. They're raised in fish farms where they're swimming around in their own waste all the time. But here they're in the lake here. This lake's a relatively clean lake. There's hardly any kind of pollution in here. The color of the water has nothing to do with pollution. This is considered a black water lake. It's one of the largest black water lakes in Florida. And the water gets the color it has from tannin. Tannin's a naturally occurring substance. We all have tannin in our bodies. If you had a cup of coffee this morning or tea, red wine last night, or Coca-Cola, you have tannin in your body. That's what gives it the brownish red color. Tannin occurs when vegetation breaks down in fresh water. And here in Sarasota County, this lake, well, the whole Myakka watershed has the classification of being wild and scenic. So any development along the shores of the waterway are very highly controlled. So it's pretty clean. So I'm serious, if you like tilapia, come and get them. We also have about 5 varieties of catfish too that live here. We got sailfin catfish, channel catfish, walking catfish, armored catfish, that's another exotic armored catfish. They're prehistoric looking creatures. Their scales look like a suit of mail. And we have the favorite fish the alligator likes to eat, and that is a gar. We don't have alligator gar here, but we have Florida gar. It's long, narrow, bony fish, slow-moving gator line there at 1 o'clock. It's a good thing that the alligators eat the gar, too, because nothing else does, and the gar like to eat the eggs of other fish. So if the gators didn't eat the gar, and the gar eating the eggs of the other fish, we'd have a problem with that. Favorite food the alligator likes to eat, the thing they will choose over everything else if they get a choice, are turtles. They like to eat peninsula cooter turtles and soft-shelled bottlenose turtles. And the reason why alligators are up on the surface and why they're up on the banks there is because they want to get their body temperature up to 80 to 85 degrees. That's when they're most comfortable. They get below 80 and they're too cold, but they get above 85 and they're too hot. That's why we see them mostly in the cool months. In the summertime, it's always a hit and miss proposition whether we see any. When we see them in the summer, we'll just see their heads briefly above the surface while they look around, take a breath, but they don't want to expose their bodies to the sunlight in the summertime because it's so hot here. But the other reason, besides the comfort of it, the other reason why gators need to get their body temperature up to 80 to 85 degrees is because the mother alligators never teach the young ones they're supposed to chew their food before they swallow. So whatever an alligator grabs, it swallows it whole. When it grabs a turtle, it chomps on the shell and cracks the shell, kills the turtle, and swallows the whole thing. Shell, bones, meat, everything. In order to digest all that heavy stuff, the alligator has some very powerful enzymes in its digestive fluids in its stomach. For those enzymes to work, they have to be at a temperature of 80 to 85 degrees. Gator has a full stomach and doesn't get that temperature right, it can actually die of indigestion. Bacteria eventually will build up in its gut to the point it'll kill it. So that's why we see them like this laying out here. That's the great blue heron there. A lot of times we'll see the gators lying out like this, we'll see the birds, herons and ibis and the egrets walking right in and around their mouths. And people wonder, what's with the bird? Is it nuts? Doesn't it know the gator could just grab it? Well, the birds know the alligators could grab them, but they also know a few things about alligators. There's a blue heron walking right there by one. And one of the things that they know is that birds are not a favorite food of alligators, because birds are mostly feathers and bones, not a whole lot of meat on them. But the other thing the birds know is that alligators, for the most part, are nocturnal hunters. They actively go looking for food at night. They're opportunists, so they do grab things in the daytime, but they actively go looking for food at night. So the birds know, come nighttime, the only thing that's in the lake at night are alligators and alligator food. So you don't find the birds in the lake at night. It's a good idea not to find yourself in the lake at night, too. Any lake, not just this one, but any pond, any stream, any body of fresh water anywhere in the South. From the Carolinas out to Texas, you're going to find alligators. So you don't want to go into a body of fresh water anywhere in the South from 2 hours before sunset until 2 hours after sunrise, because that's when alligators are looking for food. Of course, they're not always looking for food either. They have very slow metabolism, alligators. They only eat 2 or 3 times a week during the warm months of the year. Cold months of the year, they eat 2 or 3 times a month. Sometimes not even that often. Of course, you never know when they are, so it's better to be safe than sorry. But they can go for up to 6 months without eating anything at all. This one right here is just lying there and getting in. They have air sacs along their spines they can inflate at will so they can float up at the surface of the water like that. There's one up at the shore up there too. Another one in the water there.